Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Today I'm coming to you with a bit of a gentle routine. I wouldn't necessarily call this a workout. I would describe this as more restorative, regenerative, just kind of a gentle little movement sequence to just bring some circulation into the body, bring some blood flow to the joints, lubricate the joints, open up the joints, and yeah, just some gentle movement to help you either gently wake up for the day if you're going to kind of have an easy, relaxing morning, maybe on the weekend, or sometime in the evening would be probably even better as you're winding down for the day, getting ready to have a beautiful, nice, deep sleep. So yeah, nothing too sweaty, nothing too crazy. We're just going to move through some gentle poses and movements to get the body moving in an easy kind of a way, restorative, relaxing, opening. All right, so I hope you enjoy. Let's start standing. Let's bring our feet tight together, gluing the ankles together, gluing the inner thighs and the insides of the knees together, pressing the hip flexors open slightly, dropping the tailbone down. Let's close the eyes, drop the arms down by your side, and just take a moment to sense the alignment in the body and feel how your bones are floating. Feel how your shoulders are sitting on top of your hips. Do you feel any sort of a tilt to one side? Placing the hands on the pelvis, one hand on the front and one hand on the back. Do you feel that maybe your pelvis is dumping forward and perhaps you're crunching in your low back? Can you neutralize that pelvis by gently sending the tailbone down to the floor and lifting the pubic bone back up, decreasing that space between the belly button and the pubic bone? Let's place the hands on the rib cage. Let's notice if the rib cage is flaring open at all or poking forward. Again, kind of relaxing in the middle back and the spine. Can we knit the ribs gently closed? We're not looking for a really super strong clenching ab contraction here, but we're just kind of looking for a soft engagement. So go ahead and just draw the belly in, knit the ribs together, and just drop those arms back down by your side. From here, we'll cross the arms as we bend the knees. We'll sweep the arms up and draw the hands together as we look up. And then we'll bend the knees again and just sweep the arms down, dropping the head and reaching up as you inhale. Swooping down as you exhale. Keep squeezing the midline of the legs together, looking up, dropping the shoulders and lengthening the neck and spine as you go. And coming down. This time we'll hold it at the top. We'll look up for a moment and we'll lace the fingers together. And then we'll look back to the front. We'll really shrug those shoulders down into the back. We'll feel the chin sit straight forward, the nose pointing straight forward. And from here we'll just tilt over to the right. And we'll just feel a nice opening in that left side body. And then we'll use the obliques as we come back through center. And we'll go to the other side. Tipping back through center, over to the right once again, and over to the left. As you do this, can you spread the toes a little wider on the floor? And let's go one more time, over to the left. Let's come back up through center, let's dive forward, let's find a flat back. Keeping those eyes looking forward, just gently feeling those arms lift up to engage through the upper back, those postural muscles. And then we'll slowly fold forward as we reach the hands behind the back, clasp the hands and let the arms fall forward for a nice shoulder opening. Release. Take a moment to really feel the jaw release here, allow the face muscles to go slack, and start to shake the head out gently. Just really working to release tension in those neck muscles and upper back muscles, letting those arm bones really hang in front of you. And then we'll gently release the arms down towards the feet, start to bend your knees and slowly start to come down into a crouching position, keeping those knees together. We'll just start to shift the knees over to one side and then the other, just bringing a gentle twist into pelvis, twisting the knees side to side. That's it. Great. From here, we're going to do this toe opening stretch as we slowly let our knees fall down to the floor in front, keeping the toes tucked underneath you at the back. And then you're just going to sit up with your pelvis onto your heels and grow tall and release the jaw. And I know this might be really uncomfortable in those toe joints, and that's because they're typically pretty stiff and carry a lot of tension. So let's just try to breathe through this pose for a couple more moments. Let's take a nice big inhale up with the arms, and then draw the hands down through a prayer pose, just tracing the midline of the body, and again, reaching the arms up. Tracing down the midline of the body, just gonna do one more like this. Big inhale. Exhale, tracing down and gently walking the hands forward. So now you're onto all fours, and you can untuck those toes behind you and just give the tail a wag here. Wagging that tail side to side, loosening through the QL, through the low back. Wagging the tail. Coming back to neutral, draw the belly up from the floor, just a gentle engagement of that core, and again, knitting those ribs together. We're going to place a pen on the tailbone, and we're going to start to draw circles with the tailbone now, like you're tracing circles with that pen on the wall behind you. Drawing little circles with the hips, just bringing some nice blood flow to the low back, to the hip joints, the SI joint, and finish your circle, and then we'll go back the other way. Circling and isolating that pelvis. Now this next exercise, you really have to bring your focus deep into your hip joint. I want you to separate your knees slightly wider than hip distance. Take your weight into your hands. You're just going to start to shift back, bringing the weight into your legs, and then into your hands. And the next time you do this, I want you to really sense where the femur bone is sitting in the hip joint. And I want you to think of your sit bones and spreading them far away from each other as you hinge back. As you come forward, everything kind of just relaxes. Coming back, sending the sit bones far away from each other, opening up that space, releasing that space. And coming back, feeling the hip flexors soften as you do this. Feeling the femur bone sit low in the joint. And let's take one more hinge here. Good. Nice. Let's sit all the way back to a child's pose, sitting the hips all the way down onto your feet. And just resting your forehead. Just allowing those deep folds in the legs. Allowing those creases to happen. Hands splayed wide on the floor, sensing the ground underneath you. Nice. We're going to take this sweeping action, walking the hands over to the right and opening up that left arm as you lean into the right hand. Really feel the chest and shoulder opening here, and then walking across to the other side. So let's bring some repetition to this movement and keep it dynamic. Keep it moving. Feel that spine folding forward and then folding over to the side. Let's go 2 more like this. Feeling that head release. Excellent. Good. Just coming back up to sitting on the knees. Give the shoulders a roll. One at a time. Rolling those shoulders back. Just bringing some blood flow to those joints. Let it be juicy. Let it be full. Just enough to work out the kinks. And then let's shake out the head gently, looking side to side. Nice. Let that go. We're going to swing the feet out in front of us. I'm going to turn to the side to show you this movement. This is a quad lengthening movement. We're going to start with flexed ankles. We're going to place the hands on the floor beside us. We're going to dig the heels into the floor. We're going to start to shift forward so that our knees start to go nice and far forward. And then we come back. Pressing into the hands, dipping those knees forward and back. If you need to take a second to kind of place the feet closer to the hips before you go, you can do this as well. So you should feel this, again, this opening in the toe joints as we do this. And we should also feel those quad muscles lengthening as we dip the knees forward. Let's hold in this position now. Dipping the knees forward. I'm just going to use my hands to sort of pad side to side and continue to let my knees be heavy, maybe one at a time. Feeling this opening in the front of the hip. A little bit of work in the arms here. And then finally, I'm going to allow my knees to all the way to the floor if possible. And just continue to push the hips high. Opening the front of those quads. Couple more breaths here. And let that go. Good. Walking the hands back. Just stretch the legs out in front of you. We're just going to allow the bones to flop side to side, rotating in and out. Loose ankle bones, loose femurs, just flop. No resistance here, complete release of tension. Okay, you're gonna fold your feet over to the side and flex your ankles, bending both knees to approximately 90 degrees. You're gonna start to lift and lower your back sit bone off the floor. And you might feel a crunchy feeling in your hip to start, so we can really start small. We can also take note of the fact that the hip bone that is closer to the floor, so the front leg sit bone, all those glute muscles that are surrounding that bone are getting a little gentle massage from the floor here. So rocking forward and back, and if it feels good, starting to take the rib cage into a bit of a circle over top of your hips. And again, just feeling how all that muscle tissue that's surrounding that right sit bone is getting a nice massage from the floor underneath you. Nice. Good, let's let that go. Let's reach that left arm up and over one more time. Just leaning down to the right elbow. If it feels good here, start to stretch that behind leg out and just feel a lengthening in that leg. Bending the knee, releasing it back down to the floor. You're going to turn your shoulders towards the opening between your foot and knee, and you're going to pad back onto your hands, and then maybe down onto your elbows for another hip opening stretch here. In all these positions, I often like to add just a little oscillation, a little movement, a little vibration, side to side, kind of like seaweed, just moving back and forth in the waves. Just a little gentle movement. Nice. We'll bring ourselves back up. And we'll do this work on the other side. So I'll bring my other leg forward and I'll start to rock forward and back, lifting and lowering that back sit bone off the floor. And then at the same time, my front leg, feeling the tissue surrounding that sit bone, getting a little massage from the floor. And eventually that fades into a rib circle over top of the hips. And this whole time, we're breathing deeply. We're just enjoying the sensation. Good. We're going to reach up and over into that side stretch. Feel that rib cage open, fingers reach long, and then the right leg maybe extends back, a little optional add-on there. Just creating a nice long side of the body. Bend that leg in and bring yourself back, opening up towards the opening in your legs. Coming back down perhaps onto the elbows. Feeling a little wiggle as you feel opening in the quad. Nice. That's it. Gently helping yourself back up. Good. Let's cross the legs for a second here. Just take a little rock side to side between the sit bones. Yeah. And then we're just going to swing the feet around gonna take a lunge. And then we're gonna shift forward and back, that seaweed action, that easy vibrating action, forward and back, constantly in motion, never clenching, never static. Bring the palms together, optional add-on here as you lift up, feeling the legs work a little bit here, dropping the shoulders, finding some nice easy alignment in the rib cage and spine, not arching, not tucking, just nice and neutral. Let's sink the hips a little lower, and then let's dive the hands back down. Let's lift the hips slightly, tuck that right knee under, fold yourself into a pretzel position, wrap that right arm around. Let's take that action for a few repetitions. Just tracing the arm through space, and then finishing by wrapping it around, reaching for that outside of the left glute, sitting tall, feeling both sit bones connect to the floor. Give the hips a little wiggle here. Twist a little deeper, look back behind you. And then unwind, and we'll come back to our lunge. We'll place the hands on the floor. We'll step back, we'll find a plank. Nice easy plank. Can you give me a little bit of a rock side to side here, padding through the fingertips like a little cat, going through the metatarsals, allowing the hips to rock side by side. Good, let's scoop out the belly, sit back with the hips, find a downward dog position, find your heels lengthening to the floor, find your shoulder cage pressing to the floor. And then opening up the hip crease, shifting back towards your plank, sliding your right leg forward to find a lunge. Splaying the hips wide, rocking forward and back. Breathing deep as you sink the hips lower. Palms come together, we reach up, high lunge. Shoulders sinking down. Sinking a little deeper into that lunge. Back toes are high up on the arch. Sweeping the arms back down, placing them beside your foot. Taking that left knee under. Sitting into your pretzel and then starting to wrap that left hand. Moving it forward and back, swimming the arm. Feeling the sit bones on the floor. Take one more repetition here and then wrapping that left arm around the leg. Pulling the torso taller, reaching tall through that spine, spiraling to look back over your right shoulder, creating space in the outside of the hip joint, and then unraveling those arms, bringing yourself back into your lunge, sliding that right leg back into your high plank. We're going to slowly release the hips towards the floor. Not all the way, just hovering off the floor as you look up, feeling a nice release for the low back, SI joint, maybe taking a little wiggle here. And then releasing the hips and thighs down to the floor, slowly releasing the torso all the way down. Take your fingertips to the floor beside you, start to press into the floor, lift the torso up, drop the nose, and then release the nose at the top of your wave to bring yourself back down. Elbows are high out to the side, rounding as you furl up through the spine. And then wave to come back down. Try two more. Inhale. Exhale, release. And last time. We're going to reach our arms out to the side, palms flat. Start by bending your right knee, kicking your right toes up towards the ceiling, lifting that knee off the floor, engaging that posterior chain, and then twisting as you reach those toes back towards your left hand. Reach your right hand in the opposite direction. Allow that right knee to sink towards the floor. Take the left side of your face to the floor. And then just finding gentle wiggles, gentle movements here. Lifting and lowering the knee. Slight movement in the pelvis. And then slowly rolling yourself back onto your front. Legs come together. We'll try the other side. Left knee bends in, left toes kick up towards the ceiling, and then slowly start to curve over towards the right hand. Left hand starts to reach in opposition. Right side of the face rests on the floor. The leg is relaxing. Finding little movements, little subtle movements in the position. Wiggling out at places in the body that are feeling tense and feeling stuck. And then slowly drawing the legs back together. Drawing the hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to slowly press yourself back to child's pose. Round out that spine. And then roll yourself up to sitting on the feet. Just rest the hands on the legs. Let's take a couple of sort of cleansing arm circles here. Reaching up and then tracing the palms down the midline. Open the palms, reach up, look up, and trace the hands down the midline of the body. Close your eyes, inhale. We'll do this a few more times. Slicing an imaginary line down the center of the body. And really sensing right side versus left side. Sensing those two halves meeting in the middle. In harmony. Spread those fingers wide. Press the palms together. Take one more here. Draw the arms down the middle. And then just let the hands rest on the thighs. Blink the eyes open. And we're going to finish it there for today. I hope this has left you feeling relaxed, feeling at ease, feeling open and just slightly warm and available. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or evening.